This promotion, presided by President and Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, His Excellency Adama Barrow, is the first batch of colonels since the inception of security sector reforms in 2017. At least 10 senior officers, including those on official duties, are promoted to the ranks of colonels for having met 7 criteria and also satisfying the terms of reference of a special promotion board set up by the Office of the Chief of Defense Staff with the approval by the Commander-in-Chief. The ceremony was attended by the Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow, Minister for Defense Serigne Modou Njie, the Permanent Secretary for Defense, and other senior officials. The senior officers are said to have had distinguished track records where they serve with loyalty, courage, distinction, and utmost professionalism. The senior officers took 6 oaths administered by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Defense, Rohibite Dabo: oath of office, oath of trust, oath of secrecy, oath of allegiance to the Commander-in-Chief, oath of allegiance to the state, oath of allegiance to the people of the Gambia.
I swear on the Holy that I shall always work towards the maintenance of high standards of unity, patriotism, progress, and discipline in the armed forces of the Republic of the Gambia at all times. So help me God.
In his vote of thanks on behalf of the decorated officers, Colonel Dr. Musa Ka, Director of Medical Service at the Gambia Armed Forces, thanked the President for approving their nomination and the GAF High Command for the recommendation and urged his fellow decorated officers to remain committed to duty as their promotion will test the leadership abilities, courage, and mental strength as officers.
Your Excellency, permit me to most graciously thank you for approving our nomination and finding time to preside over this occasion with your physical presence. I enjoin all of us to remain resolute and committed to the tenets of our military profession. Ours is a profession of integrity, dedication to service, loyalty, and above all, availability when duty calls. Therefore, a lot is expected from us to steer the reform process and meaningfully contribute to the transformation agenda of the Armed Forces Command. These promotions will undoubtedly test our leadership abilities, our courage, and mental strength.
The Chief of Defense Staff, Mamad O.A. Cham, thanked the President for approving the nomination of the officers and congratulated the decorated officers and cautioned them to take the promotion as a privilege, adding that responsibility is expected from them and tasked them to.
I would like to congratulate these senior officers and their families for being found worthy of these promotions and achievements in their military career. To the decorated officers, I would like to caution you all to look at this elevation as a privilege and an added responsibility. With it, you are now vested with the task of not only supporting the Chief of Defense Staff and the GAF High Command, but helping to sustain the gains registered in the reforms and transformation of the armed forces from this moment on. A lot is expected of you from your subordinates, officers, and other ranks, and your respective commands would require, your respective subordinates would require you to do more than you have already done.
Serigne Modou Njie, the Minister for Defense, also congratulated the newly decorated officers and urged them to deploy their wealth of experience towards supporting the attainment of the mandate of the Gambia Armed Forces as a viable defense sector.
I hold the firm conviction that all of you, the newly promoted officers seated here today, fit perfectly into the human capacity development requirements of the Gambia Armed Forces. Therefore, I enjoin you to deploy your wealth of experience towards supporting the armed forces in the attainment of our mandate as a viable defense sector.
For his part, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, Adama Barrow, congratulated the newly promoted officers on their achievements and commended them for successfully coming this far in their military careers, and added that they must also view their promotions as a challenge and an opportunity to strive for higher heights.
With pride, I seize the opportunity to heartily congratulate the newly decorated officers on their achievements and commend them to successfully coming this far in their military careers. In an impressive manner, they have attained this after meeting all the criteria for promotion to their new enviable ranks. As a result, the occasion highlights the trust and confidence bestowed upon them, as well as the recognition of their dedication to duty.
President Barrow said his government will continue to provide the needed support for GAF to build its capacity, strengthen its logistical capabilities, and improve the general welfare of its troops, adding that his government has trained over 1,000 Gambian youth, all of whom are in active service.
As a government, we will continue to provide the needed support to GAF to build its capacity, strengthen its logistical capabilities, and improve the general welfare of its troops. As evidence of our commitment, my government has trained over 1,000 Gambian youths, all of whom are in active service. Besides granting various forms of scholarship and sponsorship packages to personnel of the armed forces to pursue degree courses at the University of the Gambia and other military training institutions abroad, we also continue to create various types of opportunities to augment performance and well-being within the army.
Aissatou Koli, Gambian Talents TV News.